Look, I am so sick and tired of people having this discussion and they don't have no facts or nothing to back it up. So today, we're gonna settle this video. We're gonna settle it. The GOAT debate. One. So as you've seen from the title and have heard in the intro, we're gonna have this conversation about the GOAT debate. It's by far one of the stupidest debates because it's heavily opinion driven, which is nothing wrong with that. You have the right to feel that a certain player is great and you have the right to disagree with anybody else. But the reason the argument is stupid is because none of us are on the same page about what we're arguing. Like, are you going to say, we're going to talk about rings? Cool, it's players that were riding the bench are only role players that have won a lot of rings. Then you got people with like Bill Russell, where there weren't a bunch of teams during that time period, and he just racked them up, and he got 11. And he won a majority of the times he went to the finals. Cool. Then you have Tim Duncans and the Kobe's who racked up 5, Jordan who racked up 6, and you have players like LeBron who went multiple times, won 3 out of 9. And then you argue he's not a GOAT because he lost. Okay, when the team is when the opposing team is better than yours, that could happen. Like, a lot of people don't understand a lot of the factors that go into this debate. For instance, coaching. We focus so much on how great the player is that we negate how important it is to have a great coach. For any of you out there that have played any organized sports, you understand how important a competent coach is. Unfortunately, till this day, LeBron hasn't had great coaches. And if he would have been with Greg Popovich, we may be having a different argument. He may be 9 for 9 because 2 of the rings he lost to Greg Popovich. The other, 6 of them were different coaches, but that's a lot of different factors. We'll talk about LeBron's legacy in a later video. But that's something we definitely have to take into consideration is how good your coach was. 2, the system and the offense that you played in. Do I think that Jordan would have performed better if they weren't running the triangle? Yes. I think he would have had crazy stats. I think he would have been on a historical way he was, but I think he would have done more than James Harden is doing now because James Harden has the ball. He runs the offense. With the triangle offense, everybody touched the ball. So, did that kind of hinder his stats? Yeah, but it also won him some rings. Without it, he probably wouldn't have gotten nearly as many rings because he would have been a ball killer. But anywho, I digress. When you're having this conversation, there needs to be some type of structure because there are so many different players that do things differently, that are basically king of their team for a reason. They are the alpha for a reason. LeBron is the alpha because of his IQ. He makes the right play, the right time. Kobe had the mental drive to kill you every play. Jordan, same way. They look to score. LeBron looks to make the best basketball play to win. Shaq looked to get out there, dominate. Kareem, dominate. Magic, was the perfect floor general, but wanted to dominate. And these are things that we have to talk about when you're talking about the greatest players. They all possess different things. They all have different strengths and different weaknesses. All right. Now, some may have more weaknesses than others, but hey, it is what it is. Like Michael Jordan, he wasn't the greatest 3-point shooter, but during his era, it wasn't really a thing. So he killed it during the mid-range and just basically gliding to the rack. But when you're looking at these arguments, people are just making terrible takes, just saying stuff that can be out of your control. Like for the 2015 finals, how that loss, yeah, LeBron took the L, but how the hell do you counteract going up against the Warriors and you lose your next 2 best players? You can't do anything with that. That's not up to your control. You're unequipped for the fight. That's like going to war without your gun or a knife. You're just out there trying to throw hands and they got an AK-47 pointed at you. So when it comes to things like that, everything goes down in history the way it did, but we need to shift the argument to stop tearing down each of these players because they're human. Obviously, they're not superhuman. They don't have powers. They're out here giving it their all for the most part, and they're performing at high levels. So just respect players without having to shit on other players. So when it comes to the GOAT debate, let's shift that and let's say who are our starting five, the greatest of all time starting five, because every player has a different role on that court. Like for me, I would say Magic, even though I wasn't born in the 80s. YouTube does exist, and you can definitely look at the players' highlights and lowlights. Magic is the best floor general ever to grace the floor. Then after that, at the 2, Michael Jordan, self-explanatory. At the 3, I would go LeBron because IQ. Even though Larry Bird was great, IQ. Same for Kobe, but in Kobe's instance for the 2, why would you go with Kobe when you can take MJ? They're the same player. But anywho, at the 4, it's Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan is a phenomenal player, very fundamentally sound, knows how to play his role and get the win. And at the 5, I will most likely go with Shaq because he was the most dominant. Like granted, Kareem has more points than you could argue any other center, but Shaq, during his prime, dominant. So let me know what y'all thinking. Are y'all tired of the GOAT debate like I am? Do y'all want to just move from the GOAT debate and let's talk about the greatest starting 5? Because they didn't kill the GOAT debate. That's going to happen to the end of time. Let me know your starting 5 in the comment section below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and also check out the rest of the videos that are going to be dropping later this week. Peace.